Where are you from? You from Vancouver?
I'm from Vancouver. That's home base. I think we met at April's. It was like the
Yeah, no, I
pre
remember
Cheers
you.
party.
Oh yeah, man, I totally remember you. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, good
you
to see
were.
you. And you're doing okay. Are you the guy that said you're a COO and a fractional COO now?
Yes, yes.
Oh, bro, that's cool. Okay, I didn't
Mhm.
realize that was you. Okay, yeah, now I remember for sure. Yeah, at the event.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good to see you. You've been back in Colombia since basically the full year, hey?
Mhm. Dude, how do you glue your background like that? That's a cool thing to do.
It's just one of the like if you hit the up arrow on beside the video, stop video, it's just one of the options there.
Oh, you're muted, Ben. Ben, you're muted.
Oh, how did I get muted? Wow, crazy. Thanks. Where is it? What's it called? Sorry, I'm talking to Jeremy. What's up,
So
Nico? What's up, Andres?
What's
Oh,
up,
Blur,
guys?
there we
no
How
go.
are
icon in the
Hey, how
Nice.
you guys doing? Good morning. Good morning.
What's happening, dogs? Good to see you. Blur, that's
Same,
cool.
same.
Jeremy's teaching me stuff. Hey, Andre, Nico, good to see you guys.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you guys. I'm gonna mute a little bit. I have some workers coming in and out right as we speak here, so I should be in a few minutes.
Feel free to mute. No worries at all. We got different segments of my life here. We got some new Columbia guys that I just met, Nico and Andres. And then we got Jeremy from Vancouver and Dave, originally from Vancouver, but currently in Asara. So different crews and directions. That's awesome. Oh, we're waiting for Julie. Oh, no, there's. Well, let's wait like 5 minutes and see who we get, because I think it's still pretty.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
back.
let's wait. I'm here though. It's
Okay.
weird because I know like it's showing us as if I'm Ben Weir. He's not cloned, it's me.
Ah, right. Julie's supporting me.
There.
In my
There.
other account. I'm gonna manage tech. So yeah, that's cool. I love it. Yeah, let's give it 5 minutes or 4 minutes or something. We'll see who's coming. Yeah, who's in? Yeah, that's perfect. We got Joel Elster. Joel's in Medellin as well. So yeah, we got a good deal of Medellin guys here. Do an in-person thing actually. That's how many of us we have. What's up, Joel? Nice guns.
What's up, guys? What's up? Yeah, I just wanted to put this on just to show off my my muscles to introduce myself. So I hope you guys don't mind.
Yeah, the light of God has great muscles.
Yeah, I just wanted to show a first good impression as well. So
Good to see it.
love it, love it.
Yeah. And yeah, we're waiting a couple minutes, Joel, just for people to kind of trickle in.
Good stuff. So is everyone based in Colombia or is it global?
It's global. So Jeremy is Vancouver, Dave is in Nassara, and then Nico, you and Andres are in Colombia with me. So we're pretty Colombia based. Who's making it on the call? So
fantastic.
Yeah. Let's see. This is
Very
actually
nice.
We have a group more this size. It's going to be a lot more manageable. So I'm actually happy about this. So, cool. Which is good stuff. Okay, well, I might start talking about some things now. So let's do that. Let's just start talking, and we'll get into some things in a couple minutes that will be involving others. So, welcome, guys, to the Love and Leverage first mastermind call. This group's called Love in Action, but it's all Love and Leverage. This is Love and Leverage, and it's everyone's here because you are cool entrepreneurs that are mixing both service and spirituality with also doing cool business in the world at the same time. And you have both of those interests, and it's about taking those together and really living them in a line. Like that's what we're up to here. And playing at really high levels too. So it's like, how do we do that? How do we play at high levels? How do we perform, but also perform from like a balanced, holistic place. And then also mastermind and meet other people that are into that stuff. So that's interesting. Yeah. So yeah, that's the case, and that's what we're up to. So yeah, we're at 11:05. So it's time to. Does anyone have any questions about that quickly before I jump into like a little meditation and breath work? Like, does anyone have anything they want to say before we do meditation and breath work? We can do like long form questions a bit later, but anything jumping out for now, just to buy another minute for anyone to join.
Hey Ben, just a quick question. What's the timeline for today's call?
Hour and a half. So we're out of here 12:30 managing time. Oh, nice.
Hi, April.
Hey, April. All right, April's joined us. That's cool. All right. So, yeah, it's cool. April, we're gonna do a little meditation now and some breath work. So I don't know if you're able to do that from where you are, but that's what we're gonna jump into.
So
Yeah, let's
just
start
a
with the
quick
round.
question.
Oh yeah, go for
Just
it.
a quick. Do we? I know you said it's an hour and a half. Do we have bullet points of what you want to go over, what you want to discuss?
Yeah. So there are a couple discussion questions, but actually the people that asked them are not here right now. So I'm inclined to, if anyone has anything else that's more pressing for anyone that's actually here, basically we're going to start with a little meditation, not too long, just kind of get us in the zone. I'll do a little bit more introduction about what we're up to. And then what we're going to go into is like a mastermind discussion. So you can either have a discussion topic you want to cover, or you can have a hot seat question that you want to ask the group for support. The way it's going to work is, if the first thing is, if it's like one of the two things, so this group is a mastermind, but it's also a vehicle for me to teach the way and the methods in which I've applied business for the last while, like that I merged the two, spirituality, business. So I will be doing a little response, like a teaching response, to show you guys how the methods work. And then we will open it to open sharing. So how people have experienced this in their lives, not as giving advice as a teacher, but as sharing how it shows up for you. And then also we can do business masterminding, because there's a lot of people that have different business backgrounds and different skills. And it's about being like, okay, cool. We can mastermind on business openly and however. And that's how we'll tackle each discussion topic.
Love it. Love it.
All right, cool. All right. So let's just jump in. We're going to do one round of Wim Hof, and then I'm going to lead us through a little guided meditation. Not a super long one, but I just like, we want to align ourselves energetically, or whatever you want to say. I don't care about language so much. I care about things that work. So does everyone know how to do Wim Hof? You know how? Andres, do you know how to do Wim Hof?
I've done it. Yeah. I mean, it's good to recap it though. It's like,
All right, I'll recap it. So
Yeah.
here's the way that I do Wim Hof, and some people might do it slightly differently, but this is like the breathwork practice, right? So I like to do 60 breaths ish. I stop when I feel full, so I'm going to stop when I feel full, and I invite you to stop right around when I stop. A lot of the time people do 30 breaths. I do more breaths because I like to. So just don't pass out. If you feel like you're passing out, stop. Some people do that. So it's like what you do is you do fully in, and then you let go, letting out. It's not like it's like you're letting out some. You're letting go, but the in is really active. So that's it. And then at the end of it, what you're going to do is you're going to hold, and you're not going to hold in too much, but you're going to hold your breath at the end, your breath hold, and wait. And then what you can do is you hold it for as long as you can, and at the end, what you'll do is breathe out and then rebreath. And then when you rebreath, you hold it again for 10 seconds or so, and you're finished. So I'll be doing it. Just follow along with me if any of that was lost. And actually, does anyone have any questions? I went through that a bit quickly. Any questions on this Wim Hof? And if you want to slightly modify it for yourself, no problem. Any questions? Cool. All right, let's jump into it. In 3, 2, 1. Hold when ready. And feel free to hold as long as you can or however it works. And when you've done that, just find a way to sit comfortably with your eyes closed, being aware of awareness. What's coming up for you in this moment? The sensations you might be feeling in your body, the weight of sitting against the chair. You just notice how everything is just appearing. The sensations of your body, the sounds, thoughts just appear. Maybe there's something that you could label an emotion in the body. Just pure awareness, allowing everything just to arise and be there. And in this state of pure awareness, everything is just arising. And let go of any concepts or any ideas of how things should be. And just allow everything to arise. And from here, let's just imagine ourselves engulfed in golden light. Imagine this light entering us. It's almost like you're just filled with this golden light. This higher energy that's infusing you. Everything good within you and all around you and in everything. Strengthening the best parts of you. Connecting you to everything that is. Imagine a golden orb in your chest of light, connecting you to the God within. From this place of being filled with light, and knowing it and seeing it and feeling it is already done, just imagine at the end of this call, you've gotten everything that you needed. Imagine it's over and you've had such a good time. You've connected with exactly who you needed to connect with. You learned exactly what you needed to learn. You got exactly what you wanted. And if you want to add anything to that intention for this call, feel free to imagine that is done as well. For the highest good of all, in service. Needing nothing for ourselves that would take away from anyone else, in perfect service to the whole. And with that intention being set, and that reality being seen and felt, I invite you to slowly come back to the room. Open your eyes whenever you're ready. Slowly start to move. And we can come back to the call. Anyone have a couple words to share about their experience?
Well done, Ben. Thanks for the reminder to do this daily. I was a little distracted. Unfortunately, I had a jacuzzi delivered as we speak to the to the apartment, so apologies for that.
Oh, well, it is what it is. You're breaking up a little bit there, Nico, but it's all good. I love you. And yeah, it's good. I mean, keeping our practice strong like this is what it's one of the things that can really help us bring this stuff into real life, right? Like what I'm really passionate about, it's really nice to know about this stuff and think about this stuff, but to really like live from this place is like one of my highest passions, and helping other people do that in like a really embodied way. Because if we're going to be the leaders that we would like to show up to be, I imagine everyone here wants to serve and wants to do the good that they're here to do in this life. It's like, it's about bringing it into everything, instead of, other ways of living, which are so common, it's not like, oh, everyone's bad and it's nice. Like no one's being judged or anything, but it's nice to see the standard for ourselves, like let's bring it into things. So, all right. So to be honest, that's what this group is about, right? And so we can talk about all sorts of different business challenges, mastermind stuff, like and spiritual integration stuff. It's very much a topic around being a high-level leader in the world, making amazing impacts in business, or whatever impacts you're currently making. Because the thing is, sometimes what you're doing is a vehicle for you to do that next thing next, and that's okay. Some of us are engaged in businesses and whatever, in whichever way. And I think the first thing to do is for us to change ourselves, get ourselves really aligned, and then see what comes through us. It's not about, oh, everyone needs to stop what they're doing and change the world right now, because it's not necessarily realistic. Like from my experience, I've been doing this for years, and I felt like a lot of it has been preparation, to actually be a good vessel for things to come through me, instead of like just, egotistically running around and causing as many problems as because if you just try to solve all the problems with ego, you're just in the same space as you were. So I don't know if that makes sense. But it probably will if I get into things later. Yeah, so I mean that's what we're up to on these calls. It's that way of living, and doing business and collaborating on business. So does anyone have anything, any questions about that before I move on? No questions. All right, nice. Okay, so then the next thing to do is, so as I mentioned before, there's going to be discussion questions and masterminding now. So the three stages are: one, I'll help you with the integration element of it. Two, individually we can share, and then three, we can do business masterminding, because there's different levels to implementing business, right? Like on some level, you are having a light shine through you. On another level, you are raising capital right now, and there are tactics that work for that, and tactics that don't. So it's just, there's levels, and we want to be able to master all the levels, but it's like we're growing out of a base of the light, and then, or whatever word you want to use, source or whatever, God, and then you can build on top of it, if that makes sense. And then there's tactical stuff. So I have a couple discussion questions that were submitted. Although we don't need to do those if somebody has anything that is pressing for them. Because if anyone here has a discussion topic about how to talk about this stuff or whatever, whatever's burning for you. If something's like kind of burning in you, like, hey, I really feel like I want to discuss, you can just bring it up. As long as it's not like wildly off topic, like topic's fairly broad actually. So does anyone have anything they'd like to discuss or get support on? Joel, did anyone say, all you guys are muted? Yeah. Well, just say something.
Just a quick question. Should we go around the room and introduce ourselves, who we are, what we do, how we contribute, and what we're looking for?
That is a great idea, Joel. You're right. I missed that in my own itinerary because I wasn't looking at it. So well done, Joel. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do
So I'll go last.
All right, yeah, let's do introductions. And I'm gonna introduce here. I'll lead the introduction. Okay, so let's do like what you're up to, what your superpower is, and a wild fact about you. Okay. Hi guys, I'm Ben. Serial entrepreneur, successful companies with partnering with influencers, got sick, got better, and got better through spiritual practice and spiritual integration. This became the center of my life before being kind of a kind of rigid guy around this kind of thing. And I had to get cracked over the head pretty hard with a bottle to wake up. So it was cool. Worked out for me. And yeah, thank you, Dave. And then superpower. Oh, and then now I'm building this mastermind. This is the first call, and we just launched it like a week ago. And free mastermind of leaders that want to do this with the intention of doing the highest good that we can and just getting ourselves really aligned and then just seeing what comes out of it and collaborating with other people that want to create in that way. Superpower is building. Yeah, I'm really the best at like vision, really quite good at strategy too, and then enlisting people to do things. Like that's what I would say I'm probably the strongest at. Not that good at things like operations. I understand it strategically and conceptually very well, but if you're like, hey Ben, sit at a desk and like manage people all day, I'll just fall asleep. So it's not good. And a wild fact about me is I tried to get 2 girls to be my girlfriend at the same time last year, and it was a disaster. So that's a nice I can mention. So all right, great. Who'd like to go next? April's next.
Ben, I'm just going to go early on because my battery is low, so I can't use it up. Otherwise, I won't be able to get home. Hey, guys. I've known Ben since he was like really little, which is maybe 5-6 years ago. The fun fact about me is that I'm a minister of A Course in Miracles, and I'm still discovering what that looks like and how that's going to play out. But I've just launched a travel business focusing on luxury travel in France and Greece. And I'm in France now. So I spend half of the year traveling in Europe, and I create custom itineraries for entrepreneurs who are too busy to do all the research of where to go and need to integrate more fun into their lives. So I act as a personal guide and coach for small groups and individuals. And I'm a really big advocate for solo travel and small groups. And I want to partner with people who want to do retreats for their company, but make it more spiritually led. So upper level management, corporate, but bringing in the element of consciousness, spirituality, and my main superpower is living a miracle-filled life.
Yeah, and April's also, I'll just fill in your intro, April. So April built a granola company, which she sold a couple years ago. And has been quite a successful investor as well. And what April is now doing is now she's sort of in between. Like April, you've been finding your next kind of magnum opus the last bit. And you're like a great connector after your exit. And you're like, I've seen you really trying to integrate this stuff and really working on it. And you've been, post exit figuring out, and now you're doing this new stuff, which is great. Although that's where I've experienced you. And yeah.
It's not really about doing or building a business. It's really trying to integrate a business into my life.
Yeah. That's great.
life, honestly. It's like not how do I, fit my life into a business, but how can I turn what I do into a business and help other people along the way? Because now I'm fully in service. I'm good. Like I'm taken care of financially on, different fronts and investments that are just passively making money. But what I really want to do is help people integrate more conscious practices into their everyday life and not make it a practice like your meditation on the daily, but really make it a lifestyle. That's my goal.
That's
Nice.
absolutely beautiful. That's really beautiful, and I'd like to piggyback off of what you just said, because
Okay.
I resonate very much with what you said. So a quick intro. So yeah, my name's Joel Elster. Born in London, lived in Spain 22 years. So my Spanish is pretty good. Now, the reason why I resonate with what you said is because I've done exactly what you said. I've created a business around my lifestyle, my life, my beliefs. And I'll explain a bit more into detail. So one of the companies I have is called Nomadic Closer. So I started off as a remote salesperson, but remote salesperson gets pretty lonely and bored. They can get so used to this way of life of like making money online, they just get stuck in their bedroom. They're making money, but they're not really doing anything with their life. Depression, lost. So I managed to escape that and then traveling the world. So through that, I thought, well, how can I actually help people that was in my situation? So what we do now is we have a few different companies. One is called the Nomadic Closer House. So every quarter we have a bunch of closers get together in the house, and it's a whole 30-day mastermind experience. It's also how they can become the best version of themselves, spirituality. We do lots for charity as well. So that's one side. The other side as well is we have an M&A business where we wholesale e-commerce and SaaS businesses. That's something that we're massively into at the moment. And we also have a sales academy. So the sales academy, I don't know if any of you guys work with closers or salespeople, but it kind of gets to the point where they sound like the sales coach that they invested into. So for us, it's more about, okay, well, let's figure out who you are. So, mission, vision, value, purpose, find your true voice, and then we'll teach you sales. So you actually sound like the best version of you rather than someone else. But something we really push hard on as well, we have our charity, which is called Life Guided by Light. So we have a few people who now join forces. So we do probably about three to four charity events a month. The next big one is going to be in Africa. So it's going to be in Tanzania. We're building 10 houses and a school. So if anyone wants to participate, that'd be great. Superpower, I'm very, very good at finding good business opportunities and finding business partners, because I'm a visionary and I'll leave it there. I don't really like jumping into operations as what Ben said. If I have to, I will. That's my background, but I don't like it. I'm more of a visionary. And a random fun fact about me, being to 46 countries. I mean, that's the most exciting thing I can think about at the moment, but I'll leave it there. I'll try to keep it short as possible. Nice to meet you all and looking forward to connecting.
Who's next?
I'll jump in here. Go.
No, go ahead, Jeremy. Go ahead.
Sure. Hey, everybody. Yeah, my name's Jeremy. What I do is I help startups kind of get from zero to momentum. My background was I used to produce trade shows for the mining industry. So we used to produce some of the largest conferences for the mining industry in the world. I did that for 7 years. Fell out of favor with it, change of heart, you could say. And that's sort of when my, I guess, more like conscious spiritual life started to take a little more precedence. So I spent the next 7 years kind of working with cameras and working in film, on set, helping make movies, things like that. And now I'm kind of going back to my old skill set with the purposes of kind of combining my new age understanding of global issues, environmentalism, with my old experience in mining, and trying to really dive into circular economy businesses. So I have one company right now that's focusing on networking and research tools for the mining industry, and I have another company that's focusing on reclaiming oil sands in Alberta, so cleaning up oil sands and tailings ponds. That's sort of the focus. My superpower, I would say, is curiosity and gratitude, being the two words on the front of my website for the last 6 years, driven by curiosity and gratitude. And random fun fact about me, I don't know how honest we're going to be here, but I haven't had a drink or a drug in over 6 years, but once upon a time I did LSD, convinced a friend to get naked. He tackled me out of a canoe, and 40 million people on the internet saw it. So
Whoa,
viral
you
video.
gotta send that video over.
Yeah. That's Jeremy.
Good one. Cool. Who's next?
I'll go. Hi guys, nice to meet everyone. My name is Andreas Olaya. I live in Medellin. That's where I met Ben. Mastermind dinner. Great group. Appreciate you putting this on, Ben. And I really like that breathwork meditation. And it's cool, that I feel blessed to be able to take the time out of the day, be here connected with you guys, all high level people. And it's like, it's important to do those things. So I appreciate that. So I have a real estate company. I have some team members here in Colombia. I have an office here, company out here as well. We buy, sell properties. And I feel fortunate also to, just like I think it was April that said, been able to take my money, invest it, some passive income coming in, continue that operation every day. Got 13 team members here, so it's a fun business. I appreciate it, but I also really resonated with what you said, Ben. It's not like I love the business, it's amazing, but kind of see how can you serve more people? Like, what's the next thing? And I'll always love real estate. It's beautiful, and but that's what I'm up to. My superpower, I would say, is really convincing people, persuading people. Getting them sold on my vision, and sales as well. One random fact about me, I would say about a year ago, like I really got into cooking and really doing things from scratch. I do all my stuff from scratch. Pasta, meatballs, sauces, like just everything from zero. With my maid, and I really enjoy it. It's kind of amazing to take things from zero and just create your own things in the kitchen. I think it's so important. What you put into your body. So I enjoy that. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. And welcome, Tyke. We're doing introductions, just so you know. So Tyke, you can listen to a couple, and then you can go last if you like. Actually, first. Who else wants to go?
Sure,
Good.
Ben. Thank you, brother.
I can drop in next. Dave Bravelove here. I am based in Nosara, Costa Rica, as Ben mentioned. Me and Ben have been good friends for good like 6-7 years now, probably since back in Samurai Brotherhood days, early on in Vancouver. I am a coach and healer and entrepreneur, and yeah, I love this work. I've been on a path of personal growth since, I guess my fun fact is I broke my neck back in 2012 in a mountain biking accident after I was a semi-professional skier before that. And that changed my path dramatically and sent me onto the spiritual path and more into entrepreneurship and coaching and just wanting to understand the human system as deeply as possible, both from healing, but also performance and self-development and all the things. So I've been walking that path ever since, and I'm now in a bit of a pivot out of, like, I still do a lot of coaching and healing work, somatic healing, breath work, all those kind of things is my main bread and butter, but I'm in the building phase of a new company to create like an apprenticeship model for the coaching industry, actually, and create some transparency and integrity around the whole industry, because it's gotten a bit of a bad rap with a lot of people just being good at sales and marketing and not actually being the greatest at delivery. And a lot of people that are, really passionate about coaching, but don't have the skills to build businesses that are not able to help people. So wanting to kind of create a system to help that. So I'm in the beginning phases of that, fundraising and just getting things going, building team right now. So very excited about that. And superpowers, I would say, are relationships and community and making connections. So that was why Ben brought me in here to help with this, and I'm excited to be part of it and help grow the community, connect with all you guys, and just see where this thing goes. So
Yeah, thanks, Dave. And yeah, so Dave leads a lot of other masterminds or groups or administrates a lot of other conscious entrepreneur groups. So I invited Dave in to help me administrate this one because he's good at that. So Dave is helping me organize stuff. So,
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, one other on that note to mention, another group I'm part of, kind of helping run and facilitate and community manage, is very similar to this, called Frequency, which is a lot of 7, 8, 9-figure entrepreneurs that are deep into spirituality, more based on events though. So we just had our first big event with 45 people down here in Costa Rica, and we'll be doing another one in the fall as well. So there could be some cool synergies between the amazing people that came in for that and this group, and excited to just blend and make bridges between all these epic people I get to meet. So
yeah. When is the event? Because I'm going to try come for a week on the 5th of May.
The event that we had just happened a couple weeks ago down here, and the next one isn't going to be until probably October, but I'll keep you guys.
The good thing, Joel, is Dave knows a lot of people in Nosara. He's very plugged in there. He manages a lot of communities there of a lot of high-level people, so he's a great guy to know if you're going to Nosara. And also, Dave, you rent out part of your house sometimes, right? Do you still do that?
Yeah, sometimes. We're only here till the end of April. We've got a big mansion that me and 5 friends live in right now, that sometimes as people come and go, we have opportunities to rent rooms. But yeah, let me know if you're coming down here in April.
Amen. That's cool. All right. Hello, everybody. Great. Has everyone gone? No, Taif is still. Taif, would you like to? Oh, sorry, Nico. I'm sorry, Nico.
All right, guys. I started with a random fact. I have 10 workers zipping in and out of the apartment right now, so it's literally the worst timing. But I'm very happy to be on this call. Ben and Andreas and me connected on a mastermind dinner here in Medellin, and the moment Ben made his intro, I felt immediately a connection and could relate very well. And I'll expand why. So I'm from Austria originally. I lived all over the world. I lived in China. I lived in the US the last 11 years. And the last 10 years were basically my path to financial independence, financial freedom. I built real estate portfolio in North Carolina. And at 35, I thought I should be the happiest man in the world, but I got really depressed because I reached my goal. I didn't have anything else to do. And so I actually had to go through this twice to be very, very sick in my life. Once at 17, I actually had cancer. And more recently, I had long COVID or vaccine injured, whatever you want to call it. But basically, the last year opened up the door to spirituality for me. My ex-girlfriend, she tried to convince me on that path, but you really have to find it yourself. And so I tried anything from, meditation, and I was in a monastery in Nepal. I did a 30-day fast, all kinds of different things. And I realized that I had to incorporate spirituality in my life and just daily positive emotions. And I have that from Joe Dispenza, but the big thing for me now was the move to Medellin. I posted on that a couple of days ago, but basically in the US, I felt like I had to force positive emotions every single day with, whether it was meditation or breath work, and all of this is good. But here in Medellin, I finally feel like I'm back into flow state and good things are happening. And I don't have to force these positive emotions, they're kind of happening automatically. So I know this is all over the place, but that's my background. Now being here in Medellin, I'm not primarily business oriented. I'm oriented in meeting other interesting people, opening up that door to spirituality more. And what am I working on right now? I started investing in real estate here in Medellin as well. if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to talk about it or give you a second opinion on our properties. What's my superpower? I'm also a visionary. I'm not really good. I'm not very detail oriented, unfortunately. I'm also very curious to the point where it's a problem sometimes. I'm very good at one-on-one conversations. So not the best in public speaking. I'm an introverted guy, but one-on-one, I'm really good.
Cool. Thank you, Nico. And Juan, thank you for joining us. Juan, we're just doing introductions. Are you in a space to do an introduction? We'll see if Juan's with us.
Hey, Bet. Hello?
Hey, Juan, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Can you hear me okay?
All right. Juan, great. Hey, Juan, so we're just doing an introduction about what you're up to, what's your superpower, and one interesting wild fact about you. Wild as you want. More entertaining, the better.
All right. Well, first of all, I kind of took myself a little bit because thanks for the introduction to this. And I it's pretty early where I'm at. I woke up an hour ago and I'm like, oh man, I'm an hour early. I started meditating and I meditated right now for like 2 hours. So I went right through it. And then I'm looking and it's like 37 minutes in and I'm like, shoot. So I just jumped in right now, guys, before I start my day. So sorry about that. I do hope I can listen to this after. That being said, so my name's Juan Gray. I mean, my journey started when I was 13 years old, I guess, and when it comes to business. Long story short, I went to a school in Montreal, Canada, originally from Mexico, from a family that actually of doctors and engineers and people who, you know, school was always very important. But for me, I kind of took a different path, and it was a little difficult because for me, I believed in education. I just didn't believe in the system. Since I was 13 years old, I kind of had my own. I had different moments, and I heard here Nico talk about his own kind of awakening, right, or different path to spirituality. I had different moments in my life, also in Mexico, that I saw a lot of dark things, a lot of things that kind of got me to see things that were very difficult, a lot of violence, but it also turned me into someone who wanted to connect to my light inside. That being said, what for me, I ended up playing soccer at a very high level. After 13, I started importing, exporting things, products, because I tried to help people around me. So I started selling hats. I started selling actually different merchandise. At some point, I was making over $1,000 a week at 13, 14 years old. And I started seeing, okay, then I turned that into e-commerce a couple years later and built things there. And then soccer was actually an important thing for me because it allowed me to really become a leader and a team player. And so I ended up playing for Team Quebec, and after Team Canada, I represented Team Canada as well. So of course, dedication, discipline was extremely important for me. I had a soccer ball every time. Even sometimes I brought it into class, just having it kind of with me, because I believe that if you have something in proximity, you can. I heard sometimes someone say that the more you have it with you, the more it connects to your energy, and the more touches you do, the better you become. And I wanted to become the best, right? So I visualized, kind of playing for Barcelona, doing these things, and I got really close actually. And then at some point when I was 16 years old, I got a really bad brain injury, which got me spending a lot of time at the hospital. And I think that was just life's calling to redirect me into a different purpose. Years later, a couple years later, I got into film industry. So an interesting thing about me is that I got one interesting thing I just thought about right now. I got hired by the Russo brothers, who were the directors of Avengers, right, the Avenger movies, and a TV show called Deadly Class. Deadly Class is a show that was actually #1 on Netflix for many different countries: Germany, Australia, #2 in Canada. Couple things like that. It got too violent for the US, because it's a show that was about San Francisco in the 1980s, almost like Harry Potter meets like Narcos, something like that, right? So there's actually quite a bit of violence, and then because it was produced by the Russo brothers on that show, and then I got brought in for a pilot to Vancouver, which is how I'm in Vancouver right now. So many years so many years later. And then I ended up doing five plus episodes on that TV show. And of course, I had my own journey before that. So in terms of business, just to move to that, basically since that age of 13, I've tried so many different things, guys. Right from I've owned a tech company with two co-founders.
Juan, these are meant to be about, you missed it. These are a 1 minute intro, and no worries.
Oh,
Finish
shit,
off,
sorry.
but just so you know.
Sorry. Well, I'm founder of a company called Purpose that is actually started with a game, guys. And this game right here is actually a game that is here to connect humanity. It's a supercharged conversation, and it allows people to tap into their higher purpose. This game has been so far in 27 countries sold e-commerce, and we're about to really launch it from a marketing standpoint in a bigger way. But the game opens up an ecosystem. So I'll leave it there, but I'm excited
Juan's
to be
also
here.
a purpose-driven influencer with a good sized following and doing events with
Yeah.
April and stuff like that. So yeah. All right, guys. Thank you, Juan. Appreciate that. And so now we're at the halfway mark. I want to take like a 5-minute break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do hot seat questions, okay? Or discussion. So it's like a 5-minute break. See you guys in 5.
And one last thing before you all go, can you please share a link of all of your businesses? Because we're going to start creating profiles on all of our members. So it's really cool if we can start collecting this as well in the chat before you take your break. Thank you so much.
Oh, good to hear. I understand, Joel. All right, I have returned. Whoever's back, let me know. Dave is here. What's up, Dave? You've kept Brave Love as the last name, but James is no longer the first name. That's the.
Yeah, James is my middle name. I went by that for a minute, but then I just didn't feel. I felt like trying too hard. So I like Dave. So
Yeah, that's right.
Dave, I don't know if you remember, you and I actually, I think, had a call like 4 years ago when you were just starting your coaching.
yeah, you look familiar.
Yeah. It would have either been through like Dream Talks way back in the day we would have met maybe, or
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I think what had happened is I just shot an interview with Ben Gorski.
Oh yeah, Ben Goreski, we know him.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that was I helped shoot the Men Who Do Bubble, I can't remember, Men Who Take Baths.
Yeah.
He was one of the guys, and then I remember seeing your guys' names, and yeah, you and I had a call at one point,
Totally.
which was interesting to see what you're working on now, because I think I was sort of doing a little bit of market research about a marketplace for coaches at the time.
Wow. Well, Dave is looking for an operator for this company right now.
Yeah. We'll chat when you're. I'd be stoked to connect offline and chat about that with what you were saying. I'm just in the beginning phases of this, so we could
Awesome.
back and forth on.
How cool. All right, great. And we got Joel, we got Juan, and soon Andre and Nico will return to us. So,
Yeah, I'm here.
what's up, Juan? Juan, are you able to be here for the whole rest of the call, or do you have to go, or how are you doing?
No, I'm good.
Nice. And I know Joel's got a run here. Oh. Good for us to be aware of. And Andres and Nico will return. So I'll give it a minute. Yeah, and I appreciate you guys all coming on. I think it's great to see everybody. We got a good group size. I was concerned about the intros actually. I was gonna leave them out because I thought the group size might be prohibitive, but we actually got the right amount of people to be able to do intros, which was good. So, that's nice. Great. So let's move forward. Yeah. So Nico will join us in a second. So yeah, cool. Does anyone have like a discussion question that they want to cover? Like, is there, or I guess we can think about it. Yeah. Does anyone have a discussion question or a pain point they want to cover?
In terms of business or personal?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably business related. Like I mean, if you really have a burning personal thing you feel like bringing up, it might be a fit. It sort of depends, but yeah, I would say aiming in the direction of business masterminding. Yeah. So like, for example, like, yeah, I would say like, do you have a challenge in your kind of, yeah, business would be good.
Sure. I'll quickly go if that's cool. So unfortunately I've got 5 minutes to my next meeting. So at the moment, we have a few businesses, but at the moment the main focus at the moment is M&A. So we wholesale e-commerce and SaaS businesses. So we have buyers, we have sellers. We're always looking for buyers and sellers. We've just come across one of our old friends who now works for a family office in Dubai. So they have investments anywhere up to like $600 million. So I don't know if anyone deals with large investors or anyone looking to sell businesses. If you have, I'd like to have a chat with you guys offline as well on how we could work together. But yeah, that's just something I wanted to throw out at the moment. Is we had our initial problem was finding stock. Now we have load of stock, and now we're focusing on more investors because we have more investors, and now we're like, okay, we need more investors now. So, but yeah, like I said, we predominantly focus on selling SaaS and e-commerce, but there's lots of other things we can do as the numbers go up as well.
Yeah. Okay, cool. This is more like just like a straight business mastermind question. What I would say is, well, first, the person that's in the recommend you talk to would be Peter Holgate. He's my business coach and he's like super good and he's had a whole bunch of fundraising stuff and also he's had like 6 exits and he's just done a lot of this stuff, right? He's built like 200 million in companies. Like of his businesses, if you add them all, the 6 exits together, it's 200 million.
So,
So-
probably the better question is, do you guys know of any good masterminds that I should join to associate myself with buyers and sellers? Maybe that's a better question.
Okay, that's fair. Well, Rhodium is one you could check out. Yeah, I texted you about that. Remember the Rhodium? I maybe you didn't see it, but there's an acquisition free mastermind called Rhodium. You might enjoy. Yeah.
I didn't see it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's cool. Like a month ago, I texted you about it.
Is the goal to try to increase your knowledge around the space for it, or to actually try to meet more investors and sellers?
So I'm more of the connector, and then I just pass it over to my business partner who has more. I don't really like going networking and talking business. It's more growing my network, understanding what people are looking for, and then introducing them to someone who has more knowledge than me.
Yeah, I just shot you a message as well, but a good friend runs like a SaaS community of founders that a lot of them are working towards exiting. So I'll send you that info.
Appreciate it, buddy.
This is it. It's called. So it'd be a good place to drop in and connect with a whole bunch of those founders.
Where did you send me a message?
Just on here on the chat, but I'll
send you a WhatsApp.
Yeah, hit me
Appreciate
on WhatsApp. Share the info.
Hey, Joel, are you interested in buying does the language matter? Like, does it matter? Is there territory specific?
Doesn't matter. No. So we have 40 deal hunters in the Spanish market at the moment, and probably 13 deal hunters. Yeah, 13 deal hunters in the English market. So any market.
Awesome. Yeah, well, in that case, would love to connect and see if I can add value in any way with that. I have on the Spanish side of things, personally, we have an account over 500,000 followers, mostly entrepreneurs that follow us on Instagram. That is all Spanish. It's all Latin America, growing. We hit a million plus accounts a week in terms of reach. And then on TikTok, we're at 995,000 followers, so almost 1 million, right? And that's all Spanish as well. So all business entrepreneurs mostly. So if you want, connect with me. We actually are going to be launching soon in the Spanish market. So I've been in the SaaS space. We have business right now in the SaaS space / e-commerce. So yeah, not that I'm looking to sell anything right now, but just interesting to know, because we can build things very fast with big audiences, as you know, and just get to have strategic alliances and partnerships there. And if I know anybody there, I can do a post or whatever. Happy to send to you.
That's beautiful. Appreciate you guys. Loving this group already.
Yeah, how'd you like it? Cool. All right, Joel. Well, I know Joel's got to leave us. He's got a hard stop, but thank you for coming on, Joel, and it was a good chat. And yeah, guys, lots of love, Joel, and talk to you soon.
Catch you guys later. Appreciate you. Bye-bye.
So, all right. So I think I want to move on then to a discussion topic that was asked in advance. Unless anyone's got, does anyone have anything burning that would also if you have like a short business technical thing like that, we do want to support each other, and that's a good thing to do. And also, my favorite is when they, I think I have a discussion topic I'd like to cover. Does anyone have anything they really want to cover? Like that I don't want to take away something that someone needs. Does anyone have anything that they really want to cover?
Can I ask you a quick question I just thought about right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe if when you have a really engaged community of people who would love to support a movement and do so maybe on a financial side as well, other than purely by product, right? And I'm talking about it other than crowdfunding. So I've had one experience with crowdfunding in the past, but in a way where you can get multiple people involved, almost and get actually buying shares. And now I know that there's different models that you can have people get involved in a company and buy shares when you have like 100 people or more, and there's different things like that. I just wonder if anyone had any experience with that model in terms of almost raising capital from customers in a way that they really feel more involved, other than becoming founding members, etc. Any more on the strategic side of things like that.
Yeah, so I would say I've done two different things that might align here in the middle. So I'll share that. So one of the things is that okay, so there's two models. So one thing that sort of can be kind of annoying, right, is when you give away a lot of equity, because you can give away a lot of rights to shareholders and that kind of thing, and it can become quite complicated with having all the shareholders. So a way that a friend of mine raised money from me was he did a certain type of debt deal that but it like ended up 3xing. I could probably find the actual terms for you and ask him for like the terms. But it was really interesting. I think it was actually some kind of like, because in this sort of thing, it's all in the terms, right? Like if you're coming up with whatever you're giving out, it's all about like doing a structure that's not going to really hamstring you or give you all these minority partners that end up having all these backdoor minority rights that can force you to do things, et cetera. You really don't want that. So, so that's one thing, is what you're selling, right? Structuring that. And then the other thing, and deciding on what you want and don't. And the other thing is I still think that pre-order stuff. So I've run pre-orders for my businesses, right? And I think that's some of the best capital that you can get, just because you don't have to give anything away. So I really like to do that. And I know you have audiences, so I don't know if you want to do that or not. Maybe you don't. And then of course there's like equity crowdfunding, right? Have you heard about that?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, ultimately, it's the terms and selling it and yeah, leveraging your audience to do it. I mean, and you're selling it like any other launch, really, if you want to do that. Yeah, I guess that's what I have to share.
Yeah, no, awesome. Now, I think when it comes to that, it's more looking at it also from a perspective of creating partners that now want to sell, and you have a marketing army basically for you, because I think we have a unique situation, something that we're doing for that. So I see value in that, and I have over 150 people that have I put a post up, and 150 people that are serious about buying some shares. Now I don't want 150 shareholders partners in that way, but it is something that I do see value if there's the rights and the terms are put in the right place, and they feel a percentage of the company at a right valuation, that we can have people, because you've probably seen that as well when you have someone who's extremely passionate about your business, plus they're some kind of partner in any way, how they'll promote it, especially people with contacts and decent networks, right? So I was just wondering about that model, but like you said, a lot has to do with the terms and kind of coming up with the right way of just structuring.
Yeah, I think that's it. It sounds like you have a great idea, and as long as you don't structure it in a way that hamstrings you, I think it makes sense. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll continue thinking about that, and we'll talk about it.
Cool. Well, our dear friend Gabriel has joined us. Thank you for joining, Gabriel. It's funny is the divine timing in this, because Gabriel, I was going to do your discussion question, and I was feeling kind of like called to not until, oh, guess what? Now we got to do Gabriel's discussion question. How fun! So well timed, Gabriel. All right, so I want to jump into a discussion now. Okay, guys, so let's jump into a discussion. And this is a question that Gabriel asked me. Gabriel said, Ben, Gabriel, do you want to ask your question to Gabriel, do you want to do like a 1 minute intro on yourself, of like, just like what you're up to, what's your superpower? And then after that, ask your question. And then I'm gonna answer it, and then we can have a discussion about it.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, man. Great to meet you all. So, Gabriel Murillo, originally from Venezuela, living in Louisiana for the past 15 years, currently in Medellin, and I'm buying and selling small businesses. Platform company is an e-commerce ad agency that I bought about 2 years ago. And now we manage about 120 stores, managing Google Ads and looking at deals. For the past 2 months, been looking at deals left and right, all kind of cool things. But yeah, mostly e-com or other complementary agencies to grow our clients' e-commerce stores. And yeah, that's some context. Met Ben through some of these groups here local, pretty awesome, badass entrepreneurs. So in terms of the question, should I jump in there, Ben, right away?
Yeah, I think that would be good. Let's jump into your question, because I thought it was a really good one.
Yeah. So basically the past 5-10 years, I was all about like goal setting and establishing very specific targets. I remember the first time I did it, it was like a specific revenue number, like percentage of body fat, like so ridiculous, like rigid on the goal. And my own very successful business owner, she was like, Gabriel, you are suffering, my son. And I was like, no, I am not. I'm being determined. I'm being like all these things. And anyways, that helped me tremendously for 3-4 years. And the cost of that, it was the emotional burn down of like always pushing and striving and the constant feeling of not feeling enough, and regardless of always hitting the goal. Every time I'll hit the goals at the end of the year. So this whole thought process of the question specifically on I posted in the group is like, how do I, now that I have, this acquisition goals, we have a team, and now there's somebody in an acquisition group that he achieved the coolest thing I never ever imagined this, but he has a team member, an employee that just completed a business acquisition without his involvement. So that's like freaking next level, right? And that's a specific business outcome. It is a specific deliverable that you wanna, it's desire, right? But then I'm trying to understand this whole energy map of consciousness, and it says that desires are very low frequency. And anyways, just want to open it up. I think that's where I want to reconcile. Napoleon Hill says, burning desire, go get it, be very specific, vision board, whatever. And then this guy says like, let it go, don't even think about it. So I want to kind of find the mix, like the balance between those two.
Yeah, that makes sense, Gabriel. And just Gabriel, so you know, the way that when we're going to do this kind of discussion question, the last two were very business technical, but this kind, I'm going to answer it, and then what we're going to do is we're going to open it up to experience sharing, and then after that, so that it's not teaching and advice, it's experience sharing, and then the last bit is we can have a technical discussion as well if that's warranted. So, yeah, it's like business mastermind after that. So. Okay, so this is a great question, Gabriel. Thank you for that, and I really appreciate that. And this would be a good thing, Julie, for us to record on my face if we could do that. So anyway, yeah. So that you're right, Gabriel. It sounds like a paradox, right? It's like, or there's completely conflicting, right? Of like, okay, desire, and then also I have this thing I'm excited to do. How do I do this not in the way that I used to do it, right? Because you used to do it in a certain way, where you were suffering, where you were whatever, but you do have this desire, right? It's arising within you, and you can't argue with that. That's how you feel. You really want to, dude, I can see it in you. You think about doing business acquisitions without having your staff do it. You seem like kind of stoked about that, right? And you don't want to make yourself wrong for being yourself, but you're simultaneously, like you're looking at this. So here's what I'll say. Desire, it really depends on how you're defining desire, right? Desire can be that manipulative self-control of something where you're trying to make something happen no matter what, which is what you're reflecting that you used to do. And by the way, I've done this like crazy in my life, which is why I've ended up the way I am now, because I was such an extreme person with that, right? And I learned my lesson in that there's nothing wrong with desire. It's the manipulation to achieve desire. Does that make sense? So you can have this vision, right? If we're familiar with like Joe Dispenza, for example, are you familiar with Joe Dispenza, Gabriel? Right. So Joe, right? He is helping people get in touch like with what they're really inspired to create. And what we were doing at the beginning of this call, Gabriel, you missed it, but everyone else was here except for Juan as well. We did a meditation where you tap into what, so what's the highest good for all beings? What am I inspired to do? And you feel it is real. You feel this outcome is real, and you're creating it with your connection to all that is, right? But the thing is, especially with the service intention, it's not, you don't want to create, I'm going to ruin this person's relationship with my mind. Like that's voodoo shit, right? We don't do that. But if you're trying to do something that's for like the highest good of all beings, you can imagine that and feel it is real. And then what's going to happen is you've been connected to like a higher power or whatever in your creation, you're creating with a higher power. You then get out of the way, right? Because there's all this stuff you can do to manipulate it. Like, okay, now I'm going to do all these things. But if you start taking actions that really lead to suffering, you're out of alignment with what your higher self is asking you to do to create what you have now pegged to do. So in that case, you know, like, so what I do, if you're reconciling it, is you want to feel into what you're doing. And is it like peaceful and light? Like it's your connection, Gabriel. I know you like Christianity, so I use any language, but it's like your connection to the Holy Spirit now in the activity, right? And it's like, hey, I am feeling intuitively, or the Holy Spirit is telling me, this is light, this is peaceful, this is joyful, this is the way to go, you know? This is awful and contracted and horrible. I'm in my ego manipulating the hell out of this. And that's when you're in that low desire frequency, right? And it's fine to do these tactics and things, they're great. But the thing is they need to be in a foundation of that guidance. And if you're gonna you might have to be on a diet to hit that body fat percentage. If you, first of all, you feel into that body fat percentage and you're like, is this a light feeling, or do I just feel like I'm just beating the shit out of myself right now and this isn't in service to anybody, you know? Because you could be doing that. And then it's about releasing all the judgments and lack of self-love and all that stuff you have. And then afterward, you can lean back into surrender and see what's coming out of it with this intention. So that's sort of how that loop works. Does that make sense, Gabriel, or do you have questions?
No, that's pretty solid. I love the Joe Dispenza example, because that is also the other extreme. I mean, the only thing that I still navigating, and curious to hear if anybody else can relate or have any experiences like with, you know, business acquisition. It's like Elon Musk, he bought Twitter and then fired a ton of people. So it's not easy. It's not simple. It's not light. It's like brutal, intense, and chaos. And, you know, no matter how much knowledge you have about the topic, it's still going to be very uncertain and it's going to be uncomfortable. So that's the kind of thing. Of course, this small business I bought, it wasn't that way, and it's a small team and whatever, but it was very uncomfortable. And if I was asking my body and everything, at that point, it felt like very fearful and everything. Now I'm just like, dude, that was so easy. Now, because I've been through it and I want to do it again. So it's also like understanding that fear is going to show up, and like letting go. It's my takeaway from what you share. It's like letting go of that and feeling it, letting go, and, you know.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Because the thing is yes, you will be challenged. But like this reality is giving us an opportunity for a spiritual practice, right? Like you can go sit in a monastery and stay away from everything challenging, or you can make life your monastery and see the challenges in experiencing peace, right? Like what we're trying to do is we're trying to see the divine's hand in everything, because it's not like God is with you here and then God is against you there, right? God is with you here and God is with you there, right? But it's like, okay, who am I trying to be? Well, I you know, Gabriel, I know you come from more of a Christian background, so it's like I want to be like Christ, right? And you could say I want to be like Buddha if you're somebody else. You could say I want to be like Krishnamurti or whatever. But Gabriel, suppose your intention is to be like Christ, right? And to be the highest spiritual expression of yourself in this life. Great. Well, God's going to respond to that because you've prayed for that, or you've asked for that. You set that intention, right? It's, you know, intentions, prayer. Again, same thing. We're same principles, different language. And you know, it's a jab, it's a left hand, still punching, you know, that's how I like to think about things. So you're getting challenged, right? What are you afraid to lose? Why are you afraid of this? What are you afraid to lose control of? It's in God's hands, right? It's like you journal and you figure out, and, you know, you feel the emotions and you journal and go, man, like, why don't I see God's hand in this? This isn't working because I'm doing a bullshit deal that's completely based out of greed, and I'm not aligned to what I'm meant to do, and God is taking it away from me. You know, like that might be what's going on. Or it might be I'm getting the opportunity to feel compassion, or I'm getting the opportunity to let go so God could give me what I'm actually asking for, which I've been asking for this whole time, you know? And you might be given any of these things, right? But it's like, and you have to look at the specific situation and example, but you're always being confronted with this, right? You're always being confronted with God teaching you through your business. And it's an opportunity to create and have exactly what you want on earth and create it. But you're getting to evolve your soul and your consciousness and your ability for love just like you did, Gabriel. Someone tried to rob Gabriel the other day, and Gabriel showed compassion in that moment and loved him and gave him a hug, and it all worked out. And that was like a test from God, dude, obviously. And these business things are also that, and that's how reality's working for us.
Thank you. It's awesome.
Oh, would anyone else like to share about their experience of this topic?
Yeah, I'll jump in because it's the same challenge that I've been having for the last number of years, really underlying, right? Is when you start kind of entering some of these more spiritual realms or consciousness or mindfulness, and you start realizing, okay, what are my shortcomings? What are my defects? And you start looking at these different things and peeling them away. And you realize, okay, those were the things that actually drove me to be successful in the past. And I know for myself, like I was 25 by the time I realized that money wouldn't make me happy. Like I'd already flown around the world, I'd popped all the bottles, I'd done all the things, and I was like, this isn't working. And so then I went into extreme minimalism, and now trying to reconcile, how to realize that like currency and money is a resource to help you accomplish the things that you want to accomplish in life, and how to earn that in a way that resonates and aligns with me internally, while not like using the old methods of, it's like whether or not it's greed, which was mentioned, or like Charlie Munger from Warren Buffett's co-chair used to say the world doesn't run on greed, it runs on envy. And so it's interesting actually, Ben, sometimes you just need the reminder to like go back to your basic training, and mine is I live with a set of principles, and part of the code is that you use those principles in all of your affairs throughout your life, whether it's not just your family life, it's not just your personal life, it's also your business life. And doing that within business, like maintaining compassion, humility, honesty, all those types of things within business can be really tricky, because not everybody's playing by those same rules, right? And so figuring out how to navigate through those waters while you're playing one way and other people could be playing another way is super challenging. But and then again, kind of like what Bill was saying, like one of the things I learned is that there's going to be my will, like, and when I'm operating at my highest self, my will is going to be, very positively contributing to the world. And then there's going to be my higher powers will, whether or not it's God, Jesus, whatever your being is. And what I was told is that I'm trying to get those two things to align, which is mine and my higher powers. But it's tricky, like I know I'm in the place right now where it's like I really want to build an environmental business that helps clean up the entire world and all of the oil projects around the world. But like unfortunately, clean tech deals aren't valued super well right now, and it's really hard to raise money for that kind of stuff. So I have to go back to traditional mining, which is not that I'm against mining, but it's there's more of a confliction internally there, which is challenging. That but it's like, it's what I know what to do, it's what my trade is in, it's what my skill set is in, so I have to rely on that. So anyway, I don't really have an answer, but I want to let you know, it's like I think we're different problems but sort of similar, and just let you know like I'm in there with you.
That's a great share, Jeremy. Thank you. It's totally good.
Yeah, here, Gabriel, I'll share something with you, brother. So I just came back from a trip in Utah last week, and at the conference I was at, it kind of reminded me of something that I've seen years ago, right? So which connects to an energy frequency ladder. So you probably have seen that when you feel some feelings of lack, of guilt, greed, and frustration, all these different things that we're talking about, they're lower frequency, right? So they pull you back, kind of pull you into your shadow, right? You can see the shadow in a way, a darker version of self, and a higher power, a higher self at the top. So it looks something like this, right? I don't know if you guys can see this, right? But this right here, so you have hatred, apathy, guilt, unworthy, bitterness, resentment, ashamed, judgment, blame, humiliated, negative self-talk, disappointment. So these are feelings that you're feeling. These are all on lower vibrational energy, right? And so what you want to do is you actually want to raise what's basically, we look at above the line. What you want to do is you want to get above the line on a daily basis, the more that you can, because that's where you're attracting, that's where you're connecting, that's when you're on higher purpose, that's when your deals are flowing, right? And so here you go to hope, feeling better, peace, serenity, all the way to unconditional love, integrity, empathy, passion, right? And so what's powerful is that one thing that has been very interesting is actually the type of journaling where you see the different feelings that you feel during the day. And you start with actually saying when you felt those things, right? And it's interesting when you do it because you say, okay, I felt a frustration element. I felt this, but when you identify it with this, you're now able to see it, and energy can only be transmuted, right? It can only be transformed. And so you're now in the state of consciousness of it. And what can I do to shift that? I had a deal that I was going through, and I realized that hey, I have a financial thing. I didn't know what to do, and I started getting frustrated by something I did in the past. But then I realized, hey, I'm having this because I'm having growth, right? So you're shifting the perspective. So I actually started tapping into gratitude that I have the opportunity to learn, to go through all these different things because I'm growing, because I'm doing this. And so it's a shift as well, right? So I just wanted to share that with you because sometimes looking at it from that perspective, I always think, how can I get above the line? And the more you're above the line, the more you're in that frequency. A little bit more of a tactical thing, but connected to the spiritual realm as well, right?
Oh,
Oh,
tactical's
that's
great.
fire, man. Thank you. That's super cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and and guys, let's I want super good story, and let's keep it yeah, let's tell our during this part it's an experience share, and yeah, it's great for us to, we don't need to teach so much, but we can share our experience, and it's great to hear you experiencing that. Yeah. And that was cool, Gabriel, because Gabriel, you came to us with the ladder as how you were thinking about it in the beginning. I remember as well. Good to share. Yeah.
One piece to add on my experience, kind of chiming in on the one element, Ben, you mentioned of like, does this next piece I'm wanting to take action on feel expansive or contractive? And you can think about that, but I enjoy having a practice of like actually feeling into my body and letting my body kind of intuitively respond. Like, does it actually feel expansive? Am I opening with this option or this choice, or am I kind of closing down and tuning in with like my heart, my gut, kind of feeling into the different centers of my body and actually feel like, does this decision kind of take me in either way? And really learning to listen to that and trust that and just kind of put that above my mind. And trust that the guidance comes through my body more than through my mind, personally.
Yeah, that's the point.
Is that almost like muscle testing? I think, Ben, you do a lot of that, right?
You got it.
Yeah, no, I do. I even do more of what Dave's talking about, to be honest. Like practically, I'll do maybe some muscle testing. I find muscle testing to be personally faulty for me, and it doesn't work that well. That like intuitive physical sensation bypasses the conscious mind, and I find it far more reliable for connecting to the source or whatever you're trying to connect to.
Yeah, same concept though. You're just
Dave,
viewing that.
what you're saying, question, Dave. So you're saying like after you do it, like as a practice, you get better of like understanding and separating the feelings. Like if, for example, like right now, if I'm thinking about a deal, like, you know, I feel like frustrated or fearful, or like there's so many stories in this M&A, and especially the smaller deals, because anything can happen. So it's how to like feel the fears and all of that, but also then like also one set is how to shift that. But is that comes with practice and you start kind of letting go of that initial lower energy?
The shift is when you need to understand what's actually going on in your awareness that's causing that, right? Because you're afraid of losing this deal, right? You think you need to manipulate it in this way for some sort of programming that you're running, almost certainly. You either probably have like a trauma program in your body, or you have a mental program in your mind most of the time, right? It's gonna be one of those two things. So it's about finding what's actually taking the darkness and making it conscious. And then you got to release that. And then you can do what Dave was talking about, which is once you get those emotions out of the way, the sensory feedback in your body is going to be the intuitive stuff. And then you can do the one stuff too, because at least for me, like I find that when I take the darkness, right, and I bring that darkness to the light and I let go of it, those great emotions that come through naturally, that's like your natural God self coming through you, that joy, that gratitude. It's good to practice and do a little practice in the morning or whatever before things to anchor it. But you get really playful and upbeat and fun and light if you just don't have all that shit weighing you down. So it's about taking the stuff out, making it not weigh you down with different practices to release it of shadow work, And then for decision making, you can do what Dave is talking about, which is feeling the sensory feedback of how God is speaking to you, because that's one of the main ways God speaks to you, is with that sensory feedback Dave's talking about.
Bingo. Another little piece to add on there, like, yes, on all the shadow work and everything, another really great tool I found for kind of learning to like differentiate, because I heard your question of like, how do I tell the difference between the fears and the intuition, is getting into parts work. Because usually if there's a fear of losing money, there's a part of you that has some trauma about like a deal going south or something going on. So it's like, if you can get into more of an IFS style conversation in your mind, and or work with a practitioner to help get that part separate from you and like unblend it from you, and maybe have them let go of whatever burdens or traumas they're holding on to, like you're able to come back home to your more true self and make decisions from that place, versus the part that's currently blended and just freaking out about, because it got burned in the past.
Do you say internal family system? Is that like?
Yeah, I got a buddy in Medellin that's really good at it, Gabriel, if you want to meet him. You guys would really get along.
Totally.
Great.
Yeah.
Man, I feel very grateful for all of you guys sharing. Like, feel like a VIP hot seat, but I'm cool if we move away from this to whatever you guys want to chat now. I really appreciate everybody's input. Thank you.
It was a really good foundational question though, right? Because it actually, I loved it because it gave me the opportunity to outline the principles of the game, right? Because you're like, well, Ben, how do I do this? And it's like, oh, well, this is a principled game that's actually, because there's wealth principles that are just like hustle hard and just do a lot of shit, right? And you can do that, and that's one way to manipulate reality. And then you're in egotistical reality manipulation. Or you can get into what some of what Joe Dispenza is teaching, for example, is creating reality with your connection to source, right? And there's certain things that I recommend doing even a little different than Joe Dispenza personally, but I think I'm just using him as a well-known example, to be like, cool, like there's two ways to create what you want, but they're very different. And if you fall into one, you can't do the other. And one is low frequency and one can be very high frequency. So that's what we're talking about.
I just gotta ask Andres. That looks, whatever you're doing, that's interesting. What
are you doing?
Health?
Oh no, my bad. I didn't mean to distract you guys. It's just some eye drops. Like it's like a little device for eye drops. Yeah, my bad.
Gotcha. All good. I thought it was like
we're coming up on time here. Actually, I just realized it's because we're at an hour and a half. But
oh, we lost him.
No worries, guys. I'm gonna check if he can join us again. 1 sec.
Where are you all based?
Costa Rica for me.
Cool.
Dave, how long you been down there?
About 3 years now, personally.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna be in Boulder, Colorado this summer, and kind of doing the split probably for the next little while, testing that out, doing like summer, North American summer there, North American winter down here. Yeah, exactly. And then we got
I'm in Vancouver right now, but I'm originally from Mexico, from Monterrey area. I don't know if you guys know where that is.
Nice.
Amores, okay, so divinely guided, Ben's phone just died at the time that we were supposed to stop. So I'm going to take this as a cue to end this first amazing mastermind. Thank you all so much for joining us. We will be sharing the recording and some, like brief notes here and there. Please share your links if you have of your businesses, because we're going to start creating profiles of each member. So then everyone can have access to that and everyone can see who is out there in this amazing community that we're building here. Thank you so much for your time and hope to see you in the next one.
Appreciate it, guys. Take care. Have a great one.
Yeah. Good one.
Hit me up when you're back. Hit me up when you're back. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.